This past weekend, South Africa completed their tour of the Caribbean. They defeated the West Indies 2-0 in a two-match test series, a whitewash. South Africa's first whitewash in 4 years. And then, in the lead-up to the upcoming World T20, they defeated the West Indies 3-2 in a five-match T20 series. Now, to just talk about this tour, I'd like to welcome a familiar face right here on the Daily Factor, freelance sports journalist KHULISO Nemarimela. KHULISO, good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us.
Very good afternoon to you, Faraz, and to all your viewers.
No, it's an absolute pleasure having you, KHULISO. Before this series had started, the test series, we had asked the questions about whether, Temba Bavuma and Dean Elgar, what marks. This is going to be a huge litmus test. They've come up with top marks, haven't they?
Certainly from a captaincy point of view, for both of them, this was a very good series to start with. Not only now in hindsight, looking at the results for us, but also looking at the opponents that they were playing against, particularly in the test matches. We saw that Dean Elgar did not do terribly bad. But I had said to you that in as far as Dean Elgar is concerned, the series was not going to define his Proteas career. But I was actually impressed by his captaincy. I was impressed by the fact that he could lead from the front. And one thing we know is that Dean Elgar will come through with the runs. It was said not to see Temba Bavuma in that first in the test matches, but for him to come through in the T20s, you could see glimpses of brilliant captaincy from him. Even though there were some questionable decisions that he took. But from a batsman and a personal point of view, I expected a bit more from Temba, considering the team that we were playing against. This is not the West Indies of the 70s, the 80s, and even the 2000s, to be honest with you. This is a very, for the lack of a better word, weak West Indies side. So what you would have expected is to see the South African batting lineup in general do well or do better than they have done in the recent series. So it was good to see the likes of Aiden Markram in the last T20 coming through with the runs. Quinton de Kock was brilliant in both series, by the way, in white and in green and gold. So there's a lot of good things to write home about Faraz. I'm just interested to see now if they can kick on and continue with those performances going into the Island series this weekend.
KHULISO, we always talk about it, even if it's, off a, brand of cricket. It's the third year into Mark Boucher's tenure as the Proteas coach. From your point of view, what sort of brand are we looking at this moment? We saw a lot of runs being scored, not just in the T20 series, but that of the Test series. So what sort of cricket are you leaning towards that we can see Mark Boucher stamping his authority on?
It looks like let's just win this. To be honest with you, I was a big fan of Mark Boucher as a player, but you can't really say South Africa are trying to be on the front foot, or they're trying to put the team that they're playing against on the front foot and then be the chasers or the predators in a particular series or in a particular match. So as it stands now for us, it looks like what we're doing now, we're not even looking at the type of brand of cricket that we should be playing. Are we trying to put our foot forward? Are we trying to be the chasers? What are we trying to do? You can't really put a finger to it. But what looks like it's happening now is the fact that they are trying to rebuild for the short term. For us, looking at the fact that they've got a T20 World Cup later this year, and possibly and 50 over World Cup in the next couple of years. So everything that's being done now is to just make sure that guys can put together a quick team that can do better than they did in England a couple of years ago. So I can't answer the question for us. I don't know. We are just winging it at the moment.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you.
From my point of view.
Yeah, I just don't see a sort of, either is it going to be, your conventional sort of style of cricket where we just go out to win, or is there something expensive that is coming there? KHULISO, I just want to bring up a bit of stats. Quinton de Kock top scored in both the series for South Africa. Kagiso Rabada took the most wickets in both the series for South Africa. Again, those two players continue to shine out, and they in their 8th year of being a Protea.
And I think it's important for us. I think it's important. We sometimes when you're looking at a cricket at any sports team, honestly, you need your leaders of the pack, whatever pack you're talking about, you need them to always stand out. Quinton de Kock and Kagiso Rabada, they might not be the captains, but they're definitely the leaders of the batting and the bowling attack respectively. And Quinton de Kock being a wicket keeper as well, he plays a bigger role than most in that team. So you expect those two players to still be coming through for you guys and doing what we've seen them doing from the under 19 days and the club cricket days. So I was really happy because at the moment now, for us, what we've been looking for the past couple of years, we've been trying to see if we can get the whole batting lineup of South Africa or the whole bowling lineup of South Africa performing to the best of their abilities. What we know about cricket is that there's always going to be people who are playing a supporting role. If you're playing a five match test series against whatever, you will probably still need a player like Kagiso Rabada to dominate in 3 of those. And then the other one you can get Anrik or Lungi, and then the other one you can get Keshav Maharaj to come and be the leader. But generally, you still need Kagiso Rabada to be spearheading your bowling attack. And it's good that even if he's not getting a fiver after a fiver, when you accumulate all the wickets that he's got, and on the whole tour, he looks like he is still spearheading the South African attack. He's the one that gets the new ball. You look at the Quinton de Kock and the betting lineup. He's the one that opens the betting lineup, the betting for us in white ball cricket. Then when we go to red ball cricket, he's not necessarily opening, but by the time he comes through, he's like everyone has like a big sword, and he's like he's got this sharp small razor, and then he just tears everything apart, and before you know it, he's got 70 or 55 balls. So you need those players to be doing that for you, regardless of where it is, what conditions they're playing on. You still need those two players to lead your to lead your attacks, either batting or bowling, and then you can have supporting acts in terms of batting on both formats, on all three formats. You still need Quinton to lead, and then the likes of Aiden Makram can lead here and there. The likes of Dean Elder can come through with the runs, but you need these two players for us, because in terms of pure talent, these are probably our most talented players in the squad.
Yeah, and of course the tour of Ireland begins this weekend. KHULISO NEMARIMELA, we say thank you so much, and we'll definitely have you again.
Cheers for us. Thank you.
There we go, KHULISO NEMARIMELA, just breaking down the successful tour of the Proteas to the West Indies. They begin in Ireland again as they prepare for the upcoming T20 World Cup later on this year in the United Arab Emirates.